can you get what you need, y'all? You got to give a lot just to get what you need sometimes, y'all. Give me the bridge now. I feel like busting loose, busting loose. Give me the bridge now.
Got in front of you right here is how can I say it, man? It's like DC's Unsung right here. This is the man right here. We're talking about 1983 first team all Met. We're talking about Division II Player of the Year. We're talking about the first Division II player to ever be invited to the Olympics. We're talking about the record holder for points scored in the game down the Urban Coalition Summer League, which is 77. I got the man right here. So, man, first of all, I want to thank you for giving me a little bit of your time and everything.
I want to thank you for seeking me out so I can give you some of this good basketball history.
Okay, so first thing I want to ask you is this. What fascinated you about basketball? What made you want to play basketball?
But really my dad. You know, I come out of a neighborhood where we had a playground where we only had one basketball court and all you could play was really 3-on-3s. And just watching my dad play with the older guys, and I had made my junior high school team in the 8th grade, but I wasn't playing. And during the summer, I was going to the 9th grade. He pulled me to the side and asked me, did I really want to play basketball? And I told him, yeah. And I just had a phenomenal summer. I played with him all summer. And I just exploded after that. Everything just went, sky was the limit after that. I just became like a man overnight.
You know what? Let me apologize too, because I gave all of that. I gave all of the accolades and everything, but I never said it's Clarence Bootney Green.
Bootney, my man.
Clarence Bootney Green in the house.
My man, appreciate you.
Now, when you and your pops played, you said your pops really pushed you. Tell me about, because I did my homework. Tell me about the 3-on-3 games with your pops.
Oh yeah, we had a legendary playground called Moore's Playground. I was the only kid out of the whole area. I was 14 years old, and my dad and them was in their late 30s. And he asked me if I wanted to play. I told him yeah, but they not gonna let me play. And he was like, Bootney, they can't stop you from playing. You playing with me. And I took my lumps and bumps. And he was, the guys. If he found out they were trying to go easy on me, he stopped the game and said, look, man, if you don't want to play, tell the other guy, find somewhere else to play. Man, don't go light on him. I don't want you to take it easy on him. As long as you don't elbow him in his face, nothing like that, I'm cool. But don't go easy on him. And that summer, man, that was the roughest summer for me ever. But I blossomed after that. Going into my junior high school, senior year junior high school, I just took off. I was unstoppable. Because I was 5'9", but I had a man's body, and I was like a man playing amongst boys because I learned. Everybody I played with was 30 and over, and they would, all of them got in my ear. If you can't learn from this, then it ain't for you. If you can't go back, and my dad used to tell me, if you can't go back and dominate your peers, Bootney, this ain't for you, and that stuck with me. And I just bloomed after that. So I had a jump. Me getting off the ground was that's what I became known for, dunking. And I just took off after that.
Yeah, man. You know what? Watching you, I'm almost certain. I'm certain. I've never seen anybody go to the basket that explosive. Like with that kind of explosiveness, man, it was almost like, and your motor
Right,
just seemed like a high motor.
Right.
So how did How did you develop a motor like that? Like, I mean, because it just seemed like he was nonstop, like relentless out there.
Playing with those older guys, man. I can't. I gotta give it to them. I have to, because they, you know what I'm saying, they was killing me, and going out there, you know, trying to play cool, take it easy. It was none of that. So I had to grind. I had to grind. They was back posting me up, backing me down. So, you know, all my strength came from that. You know what I'm saying? So I really ain't have no choice. And like I say, when I go back to play against my peers, what they was doing to me, I was doing to my peers. I was like, oh, this worked. You know what I'm saying? This really works. So I just took it, and it just became a part of me.
Physical brain.
Yeah, exactly. It just became, and then once I learned the game, you know, I still played out of position all through high school, but I just, you know, during that time I wanted to win. You know, like I said, in high school I had a 40-inch vertical lead, so I could get to the basket with the best of them. You know, I was checking guys 6'8", 6'9", but I really wasn't nothing but a guard. But when I go back to check guards, you know, it was like I was overpowering to them. You know, they couldn't do nothing with me. They were like, look, I was like 6'9", and they were like little 5-footers. So I mean, it was a plus to it. But like I say, you know, I do wish I would have played with the basketball a little more coming out of high school. But they say that was my kryptonite, me not handling the ball.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's one thing that stands out about your game right off the break, that you play much bigger than your size.
Right.
It's like this dude played like a giant, but he's like 6 feet.
Right, what number 6 feet exactly. But like I said, I could get off the ground. I could get up with the best of them. You know, like I said, my heart was like big as Texas. You know, that would carry me, my heart. I wasn't afraid of nobody. You know, like my father used to tell me, you know, ain't no need to getting out there being afraid. And he was like, he used to always say, because when you go out there, they gonna try to take your heart. If you don't try to take theirs, they're gonna take yours. And that always stuck with me too. So, you know what I'm saying? So I was just physical. I had to out physical my man. And if I had to fight, I had to fight. And that's how I looked at it. But I was, you know, I was taught that way.
Say what now? Come on, Scotty. Hey. Y'all know nothing about this. Say what? Say what? 35 and over, y'all know about this. 35 and under. But she's not your.
All right, just for some context right now, when you hit spin gone.
Right.
Okay, this green wave time.
Right.
Just for some context to let the people know what kind of competition, what was the basketball environment like at that time? Who was your competition? Who?
Some old schools?
Yeah, schools.
Oh, Dunbar. You know, they had Anthony Jones, Sylvester Charles, Robbie Gant, Tyrone Scott. The name was few. H.D. Woodson, Andre McLeod, Sonny Hicks, Ernest Glover, Coolidge, Darrell Webster, Mosley, Warren Matthews. Man, all the schools. Eastern, they had, you know, Kevin Scarborough, that's to name a few. Chamberlain, Wilbur Jones, Michael Andrews, and of course, you know, Roosevelt. They had Linwood and Earl Davis, the Davis brothers. You know what I'm saying? They was held, period. And that was just my freshman year. So, you know, so you can imagine as we went on, the Darrell, I mean, the inner high was loaded. And I played for a legendary coach, John Wood, and Coach Burrell. So, you know, so I was taught, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so John Wood, explain to me the impact he had on you as a player and as a man, because I know you said that he was.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he was legendary. He took no stuff. I went in really green, not knowing a lot of stuff. He didn't take a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Our practices, we had closed practices. I didn't know anything about that. You know, when I was in junior high school, everybody was in the gym, but he didn't have none of that. And he was like a coach, like a father figure. He didn't take nothing. If you didn't come to school, you couldn't play. You didn't do right in class. You wasn't playing. just one of those type of coaches. You know what I'm saying? He was always, always on time, always on point with us. And like I say, he's a father. I still talk to him right to this day, every like 2-3 times. As a matter of fact, I talk to him today 2-3 times a week. So I mean, sky's the limit with him. I mean, like I say, was a no nonsense coach. And like I said, I got suspended almost every year, at least one game every year for doing big games too. He ain't had no cut card on who he suspended. Michael Graham all the way down to the 12th man if he had to. But that's just the program he wanted, and that taught me a lot. I learned from that.
So you were on the squad with Michael Graham?
Yeah, Michael Graham. Me and Michael Graham played 2 years together. My 11th and 12th grade year, me and Mike played together. Sherman also, Melvin Milton, Robert Smith, Wesley Milam, just to name a few.
Okay, so take me through like take me through how a Bootney Green, how he works on his game, like some of the work ethic. Because a lot of times, man, like the kids, they think you just jumped out of bed and you could do all of this stuff, man. So what's a day on the playground like?
For me, about 7 in the morning. I used to play in boots. Back then we called them hustling boots, because I heard my father say hustling boots was like weights. So I would play in boots practically all day. But I just played all day. When I was coming up, I mean, we ain't had the cones and all that stuff. So my thing was to play all day. I played in like 5 or 6 tournaments a day back then, and that's something they don't do now. But that's just the way it is. Basketball has changed now, but back then I go from probably 7 in the morning to probably 9 or 10 at night. Played all day, and that got me better, much better, all over the city.
Okay, so when you stepped on the court, what was we know you were a prolific scorer. So I mean, what was your approach when you stepped on the court? What was you thinking?
My mindset was to kill. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I walked out of there, I used to watch people, and I used to watch how they go to the circle, and they wouldn't look at me. They'll point out everybody who they's checking, but I always noticed that nobody want to guard me, and I took notice of that, and that set a spot to me, and my mindset was they don't want to play you, so I took that as motivation, and that's why I dominated, and I would play against guys, and they would be on the court talking to me, like if they was to test me or something, they'd be like, "You all right?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm all right. You ain't do nothing to me." And my mindset, I'm saying, this guy's scared of me, and I just took that and ran with it, wherever they was or not. But like I say, when I stepped in between them lines, it was kill or be killed, and that was my mindset. And that come from my dad, and my father used to be like, "Man, look, when you're in between them lines, once you start playing Bootney, you don't want to have no regrets," and that's how I grew up. I hear people say, I don't care what they say about me. I cared about what they said about me, especially when I was playing. That's why I always take it to heart right to this day. I left everything on the court. I don't have no regrets. So that's why I always tell Stacey Robinson when we be talking, I be saying, I know they, don't mention me as much as I think they should, but that don't bother me because I feel like I did everything I could as far as the basketball. So.
Okay, so you graduate all Met. You go up and you play Division II basketball.
Division II basketball.
Same approach.
It's the same approach. I went to Millersville University first. I stayed there a semester. I was going through. I was having problems with the team, the coach. So I ended up. This is something a lot of people don't know. I ended up transferring to UDC. My cousin Wilbur Jones, he played at Cheney. So me and him was like, he like my brother. Me and him, he played with me in high school, played with me at Spingarn too. He ended up going to Cheney. So to make a long story short, I had transferred to UDC. I was in, but I had to sit out. So I was taking the fall of 84-85. I was taking them back to school, back to Cheney. And as we riding back to school, I was telling him, I was like, man, I don't really want to go to UDC because I don't want to stay home. So he was like, man, coach been asking about you all summer. I said, why you ain't tell me? He said, because you talked about UDC all summer. You said, you was in, and you know, you talked about you and Linda DeBella, what y'all was gonna do. I said, like, yeah, but I don't wanna stay home. Took me up, I dropped him off, took him up to school, took me to the coach's office, introduced me. I told coach what was going on. You know, could he get me in here? And as soon as I said, they said, can you get your transcript? I said, sure. Went back home, went up UDC, withdrew, got my papers, and it was history.
Okay, so you're the player of the year, and then you become the first player ever, the first Division II player ever to get invited to the Olympics, right?
Right.
So take me to the Olympics. What was that feeling like when you get there?
I'm gonna take you to the call first from Coach Thompson.
Okay.
I had no idea. Coach Thompson, I knew him. We knew each other. I played down the boys club where he used to come and frequent all the time. He was a good friend. He knew my uncle Petey Green, Ralph Waldo Petey Green. That's my late uncle. That's my father's brother. But he didn't know that at the time. And he knew me as Bootney. He didn't know me as Clarence Green. So he called up to my school, up to my room. And one of my teammates, we had a phone, and I answered the phone, and he called and said he was trying to get in touch with Clarence Green, this is Coach John Thompson. And my teammate at the time was from here, his name was Willie Jackson. And he was like, Coach, I'm Willie Jackson. And he was like, Willie with the blue? He was like, yeah. He's like, who's this Clarence Green? And he was like, Bootney. And he was like, what? So to make the long story, he came and got me. I was over at the gym, come back to the phone, Coach Thompson on the phone. He said, boy, I didn't know that was you. You was Clarence Green. I was like, yeah, Coach, that's me. He said, man, I'm calling to tell you, man, you one of the 100 ball players that got invited to the Olympic trials. I cried. Nobody know, but I walked out, I was talking to him that day. Walked back to the gym. I called my mother, my father. I called pretty much all my friends. But I was excited, and I still didn't. It still didn't really hit me. But I had a moment because I was saying now, I got my foot in the door. You know what I'm saying? Because I come a long way with it. So I was saying I got my foot in the door. So we had talked for a minute. So when I came home, I had to come up here to meet with him. I had to come up. Matter of fact, come over to McDonald's. We met for about an hour. We talked, and after that, it was history. And as far as when I got there, oh man, it was amazing. All the players I watched play on TV, I was with, and I was in awe, but I knew I had to step my game up.
So
and
like
Rod Strickland, David Robinson, Danny Manning. Man, I can't even, man, oh my God, Felton Spencer, Kenny Battle, of course, Charles Smith. Sherman was up, Sherman was there, Frank Ross was there, Gene was up there, Lonzo Mourning, John Turner, Derek Coleman. Man, it was so many, man. It was 100. It was 100 of us. It was 100 ball players up there. And right to this day, I'm still trying to find that team picture. And I stayed up there a week, but what I got out of it, that's when I realized I could play with anybody. I mean, I held my own. I wasn't disappointed because I got cut or nothing, but I just wanted to see where could I hold my own with these guys. Daniel Burrows was up there, and they broke us down in tens. And this when they put me at my natural position was the point guard. And in the back of my mind, I thought I wasn't gonna be able to handle it, but I did well. Riley Massimino was my coach, which he coached at Villanova. He knew my name, but he didn't know my face. And we hooping. I'm getting it. I'm killing. I'm getting it. I'm just going. And he asked me my name. He said, "Man, what's your name?" I said, "Clarence Green." And he said, "Green?" He said, He said, "Cheney?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh my God." He said, "Man, we got a killer." And all I could do was light up. I said, "Man, this man know who I am." And I did my thing. He had me on the point. Had Kenny Barrett and Felton Spencer was on my team. And when they got whiff of what I could do, all they were doing was, all Rally had my team doing was setting screens for me, bringing it up, coming off screens. Either I could kick it, or because I was getting so high on my jump shot, or I would come off, I would just pull up. And that, but like I say, I don't have no regrets. You know, I was trying to make the team, I didn't make it, but just me being there, and all those guys was cool. Poole, Richardson, man. As I'm thinking, a lot of names start running off now. But that was the best experience of my life with the basketball. And a lot of people don't even know about that. I haven't really talked about it. I got my papers and stuff. I got it in black and white. So when they talk, sometimes I got to go to my Google, right? And I'll be like, man, and I'll just show them. And they be like, man, you only. I say, man, I don't talk about it. But Stacy, he goes crazy. My man Stacy Robinson. I mean, he gets upset because when they talk basketball, especially when you don't hear my name, he be like, man, y'all, man, you know, y'all can't, Bootney, one of the top ball players, come out, there ain't nobody, but you know, go to age and that, you know, he always say, who made it to the Olympic trials? Who got an invitation? Bootney. You know, I be like, Stacy, that don't bother me, man, I'm good. I say, they know, when all them guys we talked about, they know me, they know about me. I said, and that's what matters most. So.
All right, so we get down to where you come home and you play in a league that I think was the best summer league I've ever seen, which is the Urban Coalition. I mean, I like to give props to Bury Farms and some of these other leagues, but the Urban Coalition was I just seen too many dogs come down there. Like,
man, that was my NBA. That was my NBA, hands down. That's why I had to separate myself. I say, if I can dominate this, which I knew I was going to do, I don't care about nothing else in life. I went 45.6 points a game a whole summer for 12 straight games, a whole summer. And I remember it was games where I might have had like 3 or 4 60-point games throughout that summer. And like I say, I never look back. I played with the David Wingate, the boy that played with him at St. John's, and I never forget me, Milton, and David Wingate played. David Wingate told me and Melvin, man, y'all are probably two of the best guards that I ever played with, and I know he played with some hell of a guard, with some hell of a people. Say we're the two. I ain't gonna say we were the best, but we're the 2 best ball players that he ever played with.
I'm telling you, man, the competition down there, like, what's so impressive to me about that is, like, I mean, you had Muggsy coming.
Yeah.
At one point, what, Penny Hardaway?
I mean, I was done when they came through, but yeah, that was the league though. Yeah. Chris Webber, Mike Smith. Oh yeah. We played. The Baltimore tomorrow. All of them. I was in the stands when Ernie Graham and them was playing. So you know, I used to watch them. I used to watch JoJo, Delonte Taylor, and then when my time came, you know, I ain't think I was gonna do what I did, but I look back, I don't have no regrets. The Mike Morris's, the Manute Bowl, just to sit back and say I played with all them people, the Tim Stanfield. I mean, it was so many ball players down there, man. There's names that I probably don't mention that them played. You know, the Urban Coalition was it. You know, it was everything.
You put up 77.
Yeah.
You gotta walk me through that just a little bit, man. Give me a little something on that 77, man.
Man, it was.
When I walked, I mean, Washington, it just looked like it was in the zone, but because you were scoring so quick.
I don't even know, was it the 3-point line back then?
No.
It
was like a lot of twos.
Yeah, a lot of twos and ones. I just, you know, I don't even think I got to dunk that because I was basically dunking and everything down the herb off. I don't even think I got to dunk that game. I was just in the zone. I remember my man Fat Batney made rest in peace. It was halftime. I never forget. He ran over to my bench. He said, "Man, you got 50." And I just started laughing. I was like, "Oh yeah." And then he just started counting my points from then on out. When I had like at the end of the third, I think I had like about 60 something. And he said, he called me Red. He said, "Red, you got 60 something." And I remember the guy announcing the game kept saying the Urban Coalition record was 73, which was set by John Bebe Dorn, a friend of mine, somebody I always looked up to, and another guy that I patted my game after. And I was like, but I never really paid no mind. And then as the game got to going, they got to start calling it out. When I got 70, I started hearing them. He said he got 70, and this was like the fourth quarter, about like 10 minutes. And I was like, oh yeah, in my mind I was saying, oh, I'm gonna get that 70. I don't know what I'm gonna get, but I said I'm gonna get to 73, but I ended up with 77. But they say the guy, my man Kurt Lee from Baltimore, broke that with 98 or 90 something. This is what they say. I mean, I saw mine, and the next day, I got calls from everywhere, Philadelphia, my buddies in New York. They asked me that I had a USA Today. I was told, nah, I went and bought the whole stand, and they had the whole article in the USA Today, and I kept it, and I was like, wow, I even got a chain in diamonds with 77. I mean, I lost it, but I had bought one. But yeah, the Herbo was everything to me. Like I said, that was my NBA. You know what I'm saying? So.
What I say?
Okay, so for the people who didn't see this documentary, right? The documentary on the Rayful.
Right.
Which I heard, you were friends with Rayful. Man, I've been hearing that. I didn't know this. They said the dude had a jump shot, sweet jump shot.
Oh yeah. Ray could play. It took me about when I first started playing with him, about almost 6 months to really realize he could play.
Right.
Cause flat out shoot the ball, and that's what he liked doing. So when we started playing, I used to think it was a phase, but we started playing, and then we had him playing with us with real competition, and he was holding his own. And that's when I realized after about 6 or 7 months, we played all summer, played everywhere, and me, Melvin, and Earl, you know, we were some top tier basketball players throughout the city. So wherever we went, he was with us. So we let him play, and he could flat out shoot it for real. And we played in tournaments, and he was holding his own. So that was a true story.
Okay, so the reason I bring that up is this. I mean, I know everybody watching this is going to wonder, why didn't he go to the pros? And we know,
Right.
We know how the boys.
Right. Well, here's the true story.
Okay.
During the time he got locked up, the FBI came to my house. They sat down. I think it was two of them. They sat down with me, my mom, and my pop. And basically, they was telling me they knew everything about me. Knew I could hoop, followed me up Cheney. They was coming to my games and everything. You know, they were real cordial. They were nice. You know what I'm saying? They ain't, threatened me or nothing. They were more like fans too of mine, and I couldn't believe it. But they gave me an ultimatum. They was like, look, we know you coming to court to testify for him. We know that's your friend. But this is what we're gonna tell you. If you come to court, whatever basketball career you think you have, or if you think you're gonna further your basketball career, it won't happen. So I'm sitting. I wasn't paying no mind, but I ain't even a kid. So I was like, oh yeah, okay. So I said, okay, well, how long I got to think about this? So you got a day. They say, he comes to, you supposed to testify tomorrow. So if we see you in court tomorrow, then we know, that you saying, the hell with it, you don't want to play no more basketball. That's just what they said. I was like, okay, cool. So they left, talked to my mother and father. I said, I can't, I could have took the fifth, but I was like, I can't do that because he was my friend. Somebody I was with every day. No disrespect to Lonzo Mourning and John Turner. They took the fifth, which is cool. I mean, that's what they wanted to do. But, so they was around us at the time, but I wasn't mad with them. They did what they had to do for themselves, which was cool. You know what I'm saying? I never had no ill feelings towards them or whatever, but I feel like I couldn't do that because I was with them every day. We lived in the same house. We every day from morning to night. And like a month before they came and got him, he stayed at my mom, dad, and my house for a whole month before they came and got him. So I just felt like I couldn't do it, but I didn't think they were going to do that. So to make a long story short, the Portsmouth tournament they had for all seniors in Virginia, I was an automatic invite. The rookie camp they have in Chicago where all the rookies go to work out and do all that, I was an automatic invite. I didn't get my invite or my plane ticket till it was over with. And my coach, my college coach, Charlie Songster, may he rest in peace also. and he had called me when he got the tickets, and he was like, man, I think they messing with you. And I was like, Coach, I don't even care. I'll go overseas, whatever, do that. I went over to Israel for about a month, but I didn't like it. So I came on back home. Like my mother and father said, man, you college educated. My mother said, you gonna come home, gonna get you a job, and you ain't gonna look back, you ain't gonna have no regrets on nothing. And that's how I did. And I feel like I played in the NBA, you know what I'm saying? Because all the love I get throughout the DMV, wherever I go, people know me, you know what I'm saying? People, you know, they stop me, you know what I'm saying? I really feel like I played in the NBA just by me playing in the Urban Coalition for those 5 or 6 years that I played in there, you know what I'm saying? So that was my NBA, and I don't have no regrets. You know, I go to my grave a happy camper about what I did with basketball.
All right, man. I gotta thank you
Man,
for giving me that time, man. I really appreciate it, man. We looking at this is one of the best ballers that ever come out of DC.
Wow, man, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. I want to thank you again, man.
I appreciate it, man. My man,
Green, baby.
my man. I also want to thank my man Stacy Robinson also.